Hello, welcome to Dungeons Rollers Podcast. I'm your host, Justin. Today we're doing another comic book haul video. I went back, if you've seen my dollar store comic book haul video, you know that back in like December, I noticed I was at Dollarama shopping for like Christmas present wrapping and like supplies when I saw that, hey, they're selling DC and Marvel graphic novels and trades for like $3 to $4 each, right? $3 for the soft covers, $4 for the hard covers, and I ended up picking up a shitload of them. Well, I went back on Saturday. I went to the pick up some stuff I needed. I stopped by the dollar store and I thought, hey, why not just pick up a couple stuff? And I picked up 4 trades. And we're all in the second half of the video. We're gonna review some back issue comic books that I picked up in my last comic book haul video, which I picked up from an actual comic book store. So I'm supporting, you know, the comic book industry. Don't worry, but like, yeah. So I picked up some 4 graphic novels. The first one I picked, like, I should mention there were very slim. What's it called? Slim trimmings? Slim pickings, sorry. Very slow, slim pickings this time around. A lot of SJW looking bullshit, and I saw lots of Wonder Woman and Captain Marvel. Female Captain Marvel, not the good one, like, Marvel, right? Or hell, I would take Marvel Boy over fucking, female Captain Marvel. So there was very slim pickings at the Dollarama. That's what the store's called. And I picked up 4 books. The first one I picked up was New 52 Superman Volume 1. What Price Tomorrow, which is written by George Perez, who is part of the 80s Marv Wolfman and George Perez comic book team, where George Perez was the artist, but I guess he's writing this book, which came out I think in like what, 2012. That's when New 52 was a thing, wasn't it? Where was it? Let me see. Yeah, 2012. That's when it came out. Which he did the cover art for this graphic novel. The artists, holy fuck. What the fuck is this? On one of the pages, there's like a fucking sticker on the fucking page. I guess this... What the fuck, dude? Are you joking? Do they all have that? Hopefully, it's like glued on there. Hopefully it's not gonna rip the comic book. Oh my god. It's like one of those chip stickers that they put in like books at like chapters and stuff, so to make sure people aren't stealing their shit. But like usually they're not glued on. They're not stickers. They're just slips of paper that they put inside the book. So this one was a sticker, and thank God I was able to take it off the page, and it didn't, ruin the page, unfortunately. Thank God for that. So I'm looking at the art. It looks okay, not too bad. I guess the artist is Jesus Morano. So he did an okay job. It looks pretty cool, you know, the art. Not bad. Yeah, the reason why George Perez doesn't draw as much is because he's losing his eyesight, which is why it took like fucking decades for him to finish Teen Titans Judas contract. Or was it New Titans Judas contract? Which I own. I own the hardcover for that book, but I haven't read it yet because it's like, I want to read. I haven't read a lot of Teen Titan comic books, so I kind of want to read, like, you know, pick up like a collection of 2 of the Marv Wolf and George Perez Teen Titans run before I read Judas Contract, because like Judas Contract is supposed to be like the finale, the epic finale for that run, right? So I don't want to read it too soon. All right. Next we have another Superman book. I'm gonna spoil this. It's all I picked up 2 Superman books and 2 Justice Leagues. So like the next Superman book is by Superman. Sorry, it's Superman Kryptonite, written by Darwin Cook and drawn by Tim Sale, which we already reviewed a Tim Sale book. X-Men. What was it called? X-Men something. Yeah, it was like X-Men Wolverine. Not X-Men Wolverine. It was like X-Men Wolverine and Gambit crossover. It was like them investigating like some new Jack the Ripper killings going on in like London, and it turned out to be Arcade. Spoiler alert. Which it was a pretty cool book. Like any X-Men book that's not SJWE is worth reading in my eyes. Which such a shame that Victor Gischler wrote a X-Men comic book run, which wasn't SJWE at all, but and was fun, lighthearted and fun, but people bashed it anyway, even though people have been bashing, like talking shit, like saying like X-Men has been too dark and gritty for a long time. We need some lighthearted shit. So like they get Victor Gischler, who wrote a lot of Deadpool books, and what do you know, it gets canceled after what, 2 trades, I think. So like that's like 6 issues. So I don't know, the Tim Sale art looks okay to me. I'm gonna be honest, I'm not a huge fan of Tim Sale, but you know, the art looks okay. When did this come out again? Just double checking. 2008. Okay. This must be a reprint. No way, this came out in 2008. 2007, 2008. Okay. Yeah, I think this is a reprint, but according to here, it came out 2008, which maybe, or 2007. Maybe it did. I don't fucking know. Darwin Cook, for people who don't know, he wrote like the New Frontier Justice League comic book, which got adapted into like an animated movie. Which I saw the animated movie. Wasn't a huge fan of it. I think it was mostly because I saw it when I was like a teenager, and like, you know, it was a few years after the Justice League cartoon ended, so it was like, I don't know, I think it was just like, I would rather watch the Justice League cartoon. Because like the movie was basically, hey, just like an origin story for Justice League, right? So, and it had like the 1950s aesthetic, and I kind of not a huge fan of the 1950s aesthetic. But yeah, I don't know, people like it, and I do kind of like Darwin Cook, because when I think it was a little bit before New 52, I think it was around Final Crisis, he started bashing the comic book industry for its like gay and lesbian characters. It's like, he was like, what's with this degeneracy? And like you had like these like boomer, like, you know, cringe, like leftist comic book you know, journals and like, you know, YouTubers like basically talking shit back at the old man. It's like, you're just a boomer, you're out of touch, old man. Now we see who's right, and the comic book industry went to shit because all the gay characters that are not likable at all and are fucking retarded. Darwin Cook was right. We should have listened to him back in the late aughts, but no, we didn't. So I don't know. Hopefully this is good. Looks like there's lots of action, or not really actually. Oh well, I'm sure it'll be decent. Next is Justice League Justice League Their Greatest Triumphs, which seems to be like a compilation book of random Justice League comic book issues, some of which are from the Jeff Johns New 52 run with Jim Lee. Others, I don't know, it just looks kind of random. You got one with, that looks, okay, there's Kyle Rayner's there, so that's 90s, that's his 90s costume. Okay, it shows here, like, table of contents, Justice League issue 1 from 2011, Altered Egos, JLA 33 from 1999, with Mark Waid. Oh man. Yesterday, Today, Tomorrow, Justice League of America issue 1 from 2006 with Brad Meltzer. Throne of Atlantis from Justice League 16, which came out 2013. I don't know if I was still reading Justice League after that. I think I only have like the first two Jeff Johns trades. Forever Heroes from Justice League 29, 2015 with Jeff Johns and Doug Monkey pencils. I think his art is good. I can't remember. Maintenance Day from JLA 107 from 2004 with Kurt Busiek, pencils by Ron Garney, and Fear the Reaper from Justice League Rebirth issue 1 2016 with Brian Hitch and pencils by Brian Hitch again. I like Brian Hitch's art, but like his I don't like his Batman here, because like his Batman here, it makes it look like the Batman costume from Christian Bale's Batman, and I'm not a huge fan of that. No offense. Oh, they got the Muslim Green Lantern here. Okay. You know, it is what it is. I don't know, it could be, some of the issues could be good. It looks like the Metal Men make an appearance, and I've been meaning to read Metal Men comic book. It's just the thing where I don't know where to start with the Metal Men, to be honest. And because I was looking at Metal Men trades when I was at the comic book store, and none of them were written by writers that I know about. So it was like they were all written by comic book writers that I've never heard of. So I don't know, because like, not to say I'm not looking like I can't like expand on new shit. I have no problem expanding on new shit, but the problem is like it could, like, I want to get when you're trying to get into a comic book superhero team, right? You wanna start off with an example of when they're written by a good writer, right? I don't want to pick up a random trade and then like it sucks, and then I think, oh, the Metal Men suck, when it could be, that they're fine. It's just that it was just written by a shitty writer, right? So I don't know. So next, I picked up Justice League United, Volume 1, Justice League Canada, which I saw on the Google Play Store for like $15. Thought about picking up because it was written by Jeff Lemire, and though I hear Jeff Lemire is a pretty shitty comic book writer, I kind of like some of his stuff, but like, I think it's the thing where I think he's talented, but his like politics gets in the way of his comic book writing. And as a Canadian, it's kind of expected of me to read like, something that's like Canada related, right? So my problem with this comic book, and I haven't read it yet, but I did some background research because I thought about buying the digital version, right? Which thank God I didn't, because I saved like $11, because this only cost me $4. It's not a hardcover. They upped the prices a bit, because like originally they were selling soft covers for like $3, hardcovers for $4. They just changed everything to $4. I guess because they were selling enough, which I'm surprised they didn't raise the price again. Because if they were to raise it to $5, even for the soft covers, I would still buy it because I'm saving a lot of money, right? Than if I went to the comic book store or buying digitally, but they didn't. So thank God for that. So I looked up and I saw the team lineup, right? And the team lineup is you got Animal Man, Supergirl, Hawkman, Adam Strange, and you got like Stargirl and like Martian Manhunter. And I'm like, okay, where's the new like where's the Canadian superheroes? Okay, like this is Justice League Canada and there's no Canadian superhero. Turns out there is, and it's like a there's one Canadian superhero on the team, and it's a 16-year-old Native American girl called Equinox. Well, that's her superhero name. Her real name is Mia Ben Martin. So, my problem so far, other than the fact that they made Adam Strange look fucking Asian for some fucking reason. That's a little weird to me. You only have like one. It's called like this is called Justice League Canada, and there's only one Canadian superhero, and it's a 16-year-old girl. You would think, you know, Justice League is supposed to be a team of like the world's greatest superheroes, right? In the DC Comics universe. Why the fuck do you have like a 16-year-old girl who just like, you know, just found out about her powers, just discovered her powers? Okay, that's fucking dumb. And I know people are gonna bring up, what about Captain Marvel, aka Shazam, right? Or yeah, aka Billy Batson. Well, like Shazam is super fucking powerful. He's basically as powerful as Superman, right? So okay, it would make sense for him to be on the team, despite the fact, you know, I don't even know how old he is in the comic books. I've yet to pick up a Shazam book. I've been meaning to pick up what's his name? The guy who wrote Bone. Jeff Smith. He also wrote a Shazam book. I'm gonna pick that up at some point. I think I did see it, but it was like $30, and I'm like, I'm not fucking picking up a $30 graphic novel that's basically written for kids. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know, dude. I don't know. I don't have high hopes for this. It's probably gonna suck, but you know, it's the thing where they can't even. I bought this because mostly I like Adam Strange. I think he's kind of a cool character. I haven't read enough comic books with him, honestly. I've yet to read, like, yet to read a comic book with Adam Strange as the lead. So I picked this up because, like, oh, it would be cool to see Adam Strange in a comic book. And they fucked up his design. Like, where is his jetpack? Like, Jesus Christ. Yeah, the Adam Strange and the Adam Strange in that Green Lantern comic book looked a lot cooler, to be honest. You know. Yeah, so I think I'm just gonna go into the comic book reviews, which I gotta warn you guys, I didn't find a lot of art from the individual like comic book issues that I'm reviewing, so I apologize for that. The first one I picked up, I'm reviewing, is The Wanderers, issue 1, which is written by Doug Moench and art by Dave Hoover and Robert Camino. Which, Doug Moench, for people who don't know, he's one of my favorite Batman writers. Like, I love his Batman stuff, and he also wrote a lot of Marvel Comics, what's it called? What's his name? Moon Knight, which at some point I'm going to pick up some Moon Knight books and review on the channel, right? So this also this came out in like June 1988, just so you know. What made me interested in this was one, it's like a spin-off of the Legion of Superheroes, and two, it's written by Doug Launch. And the cover for this comic book is pretty cool, I'm not gonna lie. Though, kind of disappointed, because it's like, you see like you see all 5 of the characters, and one of them is holding up a sword. I thought it was the leader of the team that was holding up the sword. Turns out it wasn't, which, you know, a little disappointed. But, what can you do? So, I should mention I read this, like, last week. So, forgive me if I forgot, forgetting anything. So basically, you have this, guy called Clonus, who is this not mad scientist per se, but he's this rogue scientist who left his home planet to go on a quest to look for something, and then he discovers, like, I forget what he's looking for. Homeless, he wanders in quest of an end to his wanderings in search of other wanderers. So, oh yeah, I remember. He's looking. There's some kind of threat to the universe that's going to destroy everything. So he's looking for, like, a team of superheroes, right? Called the Wanderers. He finds their ship, and lo and behold, the Wanderers have all been killed. Right? And what's weird about the crime scene is that there's precious gems everywhere that the killer just left behind because he didn't give a fuck, right? Well, I shouldn't have swore, right? So what Clonus does, he takes the bodies, he makes a clone of himself, which is illegal, and that's why he's on the run. He makes a clone of himself, implants all of his memories, and then leaves and lets his clone clone the dead bodies of the Wanderers, right? And all of them are brought back to life except for one of them. One of them didn't make it, and they're genetically enhanced and given new powers, right, and reflexes, which kind of bullshit that they gave the one girl, like, the one girl's like has a shitload of superpowers and is like the strongest out of the team, which, like, what one of them is like a psychic. The leader is this immortal guy who can't be killed. You got Aviax, the bird guy, who can transform to different kind of birds, and also can turn into, like, humanoid birds if you wanted to. You got the little Beast Boy looking dude who just has, like, high agility and, you know, reflexes, and he has, like, a power sword. And then you have the one dude who can shoot, who has quills over his body, and at first I thought, okay, he can shoot them, right? No, he has to throw them. So, like, the dude tells him, Clonus tells him, hey, you're probably going to want to keep, like, you know, like a harness or like some kind of thing to hold your quills and dip them in different kind of poisons, because you know your powers kind of suck, so you gotta make them more useful, right? And what ends up happening is they end up getting attacked by Clonus's, like, fellow Clonus people, whatever his fucking race of aliens are called, and they're gonna get attacked. So I thought this issue, when I first read it, was very well written. It felt like the first episode of a series. They all the different Wanderers come up with new names for themselves, because, you know, they're not exactly the same people anymore, obviously, because they have new powers, and, you know, they're clones. They're not the original people, right? And yeah, and they're gonna join Clonus's mission to save the universe, right? So I thought this issue was cool. It only cost me like $2, and I saw that there were trades for the Wanderer, so I might, you know, pick some up. I thought, so no offense, but for spoiling this, but I thought this was the best out of the 4 comic books I read. Of the different back issues, so yeah. Maybe that's my DC Comics bias, but yeah, I thought it was the best. So the next one is Stormwatch, issue 0, which came with a comic book card, or sorry, a trading card, which has the 4 different superheroes on it. You got Battalion, you got what's the Flashpoint, Backlash, and what's the girl's name? Nautica? Can't remember. So this one is about this team of superheroes who work for the UN, and they're basically like a peacekeeping force, right? Sent to, like, you know, fight terrorists and whatnot. And you know what? All the members are superpowered beings from different countries. Flashpoint's from like Australia. Nautica, I think she's Japanese. I could be wrong. Battalion's American. And he's apparently the son of a supervillain called from the what was it called? Let me check. I don't know. They were like these astronauts who went into space, got hit by radiation and became like superpowered beings, but were evil, and they became this team of supervillains called the War Guard and attacked, you know, the Earth. And Battalion is the son of the leader, I guess. So Battalion's powers are, he's like a psychic, but he's pretty fit, and he uses guns. He has this like suit of armor that he wears that increases his psionic powers, and he kind of looks like Space Marine from StarCraft, right? So this comic book it's a very weird comic book because it's present day, but it also flashbacks to like the 70s, right? So what's going on is Battalion, which for some reason doesn't look like he aged a day from his 70s counterpart or former self, is on the Skywatch satellite, where Stormwatch monitors the planet and, you know, looking out for threats, right? So he's training like this new member of the Stormwatch team, Fuji, which is like this Japanese superhero. He's like pretty huge and muscle bound, you know, but he's not, unlike with a lot of muscle bound characters, he doesn't come off dumb. So like they're training when covert team infiltrate Skywatch and are out to perform some kind of mission, but the leader of this team goes rogue, kills one of his subordinates, and orders them, follow my orders or I'm gonna kill you. And they were supposed to retrieve data or something, but he wants to kill Battalion because in the 70s, you know, like Battalion lobotomized his brother when, like, you know, he was attacking like someplace, I don't fucking know. Right? Which yeah, these superheroes, just like a lot of Image superheroes, are pretty brutal, and they have no problem like killing you know, people, you know. which it's funny how they say like you see them like obviously attack someone that to the point where like, oh, it looks like they're dead, but it's like there'll be like a subtitle saying no, they're still alive, they're just knocked out. And it's like, okay, sorry, Balloon Box. So oh, I forgot to mention, this is another Brandon Choi, Jim Lee team. No, like apparently Brett Booth and Jeffrey Scott did the pencils. Okay, so Jim Lee didn't do the art. It does look like Jim Lee's art, but apparently Jim Lee and Brandon Choi just wrote the comic book. I thought this was okay. It was pretty cool. I thought the designs for some of the characters looked kind of not too great. Like Battalion's costume is like red and green, which red and green doesn't really go that well together in my opinion. Oh, and I should mention, I thought some of the powers for some of the characters were lame. Like Flashpoint, who is very racist towards Battalion, who Battalion's African American, by the way, keeps calling him an Avo, which, you know, is not, you know, which is weird, because, like, Africans and, like, Aboriginals, besides sharing, like darker skin tones, really, if you look at them, look completely different, so I don't know why you would call him an Abo, but whatever, right? Which, his powers are basically, he's basically Cyclops, where he shoots, like, energy blasts from his eyes, but how he's different from Cyclops is that he can, like, he can move the beams. So if somebody's in the way of a target, he can, like, he can bend the beams so they can avoid the person that's blocking his shot and go around and hit his target, right? Which I guess is like, you know, it's the thing where he's just like Cyclops, but like his powers are more convenient, right? And then you have Backlash, who's supposed to be the veteran member, who like, it just looks like he has like this like energy whip that he can control that comes out of his hands, which looks cool but kind of dumb. And isn't Backlash a little bit too much of like his powers and his name is a bit too close to Whiplash from Marvel Comics, who's like Iron Man villain, for people who don't know. But yeah, his costume looks okay. It's a little generic looking, to be honest, but you know, it is what it is. So the next one is a Valiant Comics comic book, which I used to read Valiant comic books back in the day when I was a kid, when I first started reading. So this is Shadowman issue 37, which the reason why I picked up issue 37, usually I stick to number ones, right? But this has a crossover with Exo Man of War, so it's called Magic and Metal, because Shadowman has like voodoo powers, and like Man of War has, like, you know, this armor that he wears, which is like living armor, which is super weird. So this one is basically Shadowman, who's also this comic book came out in the 90s, by the way. So did the other one that I just read. Forgot to mention that. So like this one was not too bad, but wasn't too great either, if you know what I mean. And I'm a little disappointed, because I heard that Exo Man of War is a pretty cool character, but after reading this, not too fond of him, because he's basically a barbarian with like this highly advanced sci-fi, you know, living armor. So it's kind of, not too great. And besides from flying, you don't really see him do much. Which I think he can shoot energy blasts from his hands. Which he did in that Valiant comic books crossover I reviewed called The Valiant, which was written by Jeff Lemire. This comic book's written by Bob Hall. Oh, Bob Hall did the story and art. So the story for this is Shadowman, who's also a jazz player, jazz saxophone musician, is playing at his favorite club when it gets attacked by terrorists. Eric, aka Eric is his name, the Exo Man of War's name, shows up in his space armor suit, beats the shit out of the terrorists, but sees Shadowman and thinks, hey, Shadowman's with them, even though he's wearing a costume, but whatever. He fights Shadowman. Shadowman's powers, which are very fucking random. Basically, Shadowman has this tattoo on his chest, and it could do random shit. And it makes it so that what's his name's armor goes out of whack, right? So another Shadowman villain shows up called Blister, attacks Shadowman, who also has Shadowman's mark that's on his chest but on his head for some reason. Who apparently they explain that this guy is from the future. He's one of those muscle-bound villains who's pretty dumb. Who turns out he's working for another villain that wants revenge on Shadowman. And when he shows up, he tries to kill Shadowman, but ends up burning alive his friend, who in the issue Eric bangs off screen, which is very fucking weird because she's like a voodoo lady who can who heals Eric's armor, which is called Good Skin, and she can at some points can make herself look either young or old. And while she's old, Eric hits on her, is like, yeah, I'm gonna bang you, bitch. And she then reverts to her young self, which fucking very weird. I don't know, I didn't like this comic book that much, but Shadowman seems like a cool character. I might read more. I did pick up Shadowman trade, but that in my last comic book haul video, but that was a newer Shadowman. It's not the old Shadowman, so I don't know. We'll look forward to that. So the last comic book is Youngblood issue 3, which written by Rob Liefeld, also art by Rob Liefeld, which it's the thing where this comic book sucks. It's basically Youngblood being celebrities having a press conference when they hear about the Four, which is a super villain team that they put in jail, break out of jail, and they go to fight them. There's also a subplot where aliens are going to invade the Earth because one of their cruiser ships crashed on Earth and sold out their technology to the one of the Earth governments, which is America, because two of the aliens on that ship ends up joining Youngblood, which is the American superhero team that are in control by the government. The two aliens that join the team are Combat and Photon, which are part of some space empire, right? I don't know. It's the thing where like it's never a good idea to start off when you're starting a comic book, starting off at like a random issue. But I did because I wanted to read a Youngblood comic book because during Image Month, Youngblood was mentioned a lot. You know, they were in like 2 crossovers. They were in They had like 2 appearances in 2 of the comic books that I read and were mentioned a lot, right? Which they were in the Pact comic book review that I did, and they were also in the Wildcats, right? Which Wildcats much better than this. So my problem with this comic book is that, yeah, the characters' designs do look cool. There's also not like the art is very simplistic in places. You got really shitty backgrounds. Sometimes the backgrounds aren't even drawn at all, right? And then like the swords and guns are drawn pretty bad. And then like the first couple pages you see this guy, I forget his name, fighting robots, and the robots have this really shitty design, and they all look alike, so that was dumb. It's the thing where the art wasn't very good, and the story was just generic. The plot was just generic. It was just our characters fighting random, superheroes, supervillains, and ninjas for some fucking reason. And like, if you look at Shaft, which is the leader of Youngblood, which the Youngblood members that fight in this comic book are just Shaft, Bedrock, and Chapel, who is one of Spawn's villains, who's a member of Youngblood because he's a Black Ops agent for the government. I forgot to mention Shaft bow, because he's an archer, right? He doesn't. Rob Liefeld doesn't bother drawing the string, which kind of bothers me. But yeah, it's just the thing where the art is just lazy at times. Really crappy backgrounds. I don't know. It's just a generic beat 'em up comic book. And you have, oh, by the way, you have an appearance from Deadlock, from Bloodstrike. So, just letting you know. Which, Deadlock is Rob Liefeld's Wolverine ripoff. Though he's a lot shittier than Wolverine. So, I don't know, I thought, I wouldn't say this was the worst out of the 4 comic books I read, but it was like the second worst. The worst was probably the Shadowman comic book. But like, I'll give Youngblood a second try, Yeah, I think this is it for this video, guys. It's a bit too long. Alright, guys.